Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review. We are finishing out the Portal 3 Kingdoms set, which is crazy because this is the first large set of commanders we've had in a while. So it's cool that we're able to do this and get through this. I really don't feel like we've done this since Legends, which was the very first set I did. So today we're talking about Zuo C, the Mocking Sage. Now, the Mocking Sage is a legendary human advisor. It's a 1/2, costs 1 generic mana and 2 green mana. And it has 2 abilities. The first is a keyword, Hexproof. This creature can't be targeted by spells or abilities controlled by your opponents, which is a phenomenal keyword. And a not so great ability is the Mocking Sage can't be blocked by creatures with horsemanship, which is kind of not powerful at all because it can be blocked by anything else. It just can't be blocked by creatures with horsemanship, which the only problem with horsemanship, or one of the greatest upsides of horsemanship, is there's not a lot of horsemanship cards in use because of how expensive they are, and they're not really bought that much because of that. And so the second ability is kind of, or the first ability if you're reading the card on the screen here, but that ability is kind of useless because unless someone has horsemanship, like, this card does nothing. It just gets blocked by anything else. However, it does have hexproof, which is cool to have a commander with its own form of protection. No card rulings, because just because it can't be blocked by horsemanship doesn't mean that we need to worry about horsemanship. A card I chose to synergize with this commander, apologies for the coughing, is Bear Umbra. Bear Umbra is a totem armor, so if this creature would be destroyed, instead remove all damage from it and destroy this aura. I love totem armor, really cool ability. However, Bear Umbra is really cool because not only does it beef up your commander, but it also allows you to untap all your lands for the post-combat main phase, and then you can play more spells. Very powerful, very synergistic card. The deck that I am putting this commander in is a human tribal deck. There's a lot of human support in green. Not as much as there is in green and white, but enough that I'm going to build a deck, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And this commander will have hexproof, so it'll be a great defender, chump blocker, way to protect my board as I grow it for going wide and hitting hard for combat damage. A popular deck idea on EDHREC is pretty much what you would expect for a commander that has hexproof. You're going to go Voltron, you're going to go tall, you're going to go powerful, you're going to give it trample, and you're going to hit your opponents very hard with your commander. And a fun janky deck idea was pretty much a +1/+1 counters theme / an evasion theme. So mono green really doesn't have the greatest forms of evasion except for trample. That's the only way that green really gets damage in, is just lots of damage, overflowing damage. So I thought it'd be fun to find any creature that has some form of evasion and build a deck around it. And I think you could do it. I don't know how strong it would be, but I think you could do it. There would be a +1/+1 counters sub-theme to it, most likely. But Champion Flamhole is probably one of the best cards for this strategy, because the bigger champion is, the less likely your opponents will be able to block at all your entire board. But having cards that have Forest Walk is really cool. It's a great form of evasion. A lot of people are playing with green, so forests are going to be very prevalent. And then, of course, things like Battlefront Crew Shock is cool because it's +1/+1 counters, but it's also evasion because it gives all your creatures the ability to not... What would the opposite of menace be? It pretty much makes it so your creatures can only be blocked by one creature, which is really cool. Obviously that doesn't seem evasive because your creatures are still going to be blocked. They can just only be blocked by one creature. However, Green, as I said before, is really good at trample. And so what this does is it makes it so your opponents have to block with something that is big enough to prevent the trample damage from coming through. And if you really are going to go tall with your evasive deck, that's going to be hard to do because a lot of your creatures are going to be very powerful. They're going to have trample, and they're going to be only blocked by one creature at a time, which is really cool. So kind of a weird form of evasion, but it does control how the combat works to give you the best advantage of dealing as much damage as possible. So very fun. And that's going to do it for excuse me, Zhuo Si, the Mocking Sage. Fantastic commander. It's got its own form of protection. The biggest downside to this commander is just because it has hexproof doesn't mean it's not going to be doing much on its own. It is still a 1/2 all by itself, and it only has hexproof, so it's not like we're going to be able to get in any damage early in the game. We really need to suit up the Mocking Sage before we can do any actual damage with it. But thankfully it does have protection, so suit up your commander, make it big, build that fun evasion deck where maybe you don't need to worry about suiting it up because your whole board is going to be suited up with its own forms of evasion or ways to get around blockers or over blockers. And let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed. Get ready because the next video is going to be the set review, and it's going to be a big one. I haven't been able to put a lot of time into like doing a lot of zoom ups of the cards in each of the categories, but I am working on that. So we'll have it for future sets to come. So yeah, make sure to also like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when that set review comes out, as well as the future sets that do come out, because I'm going to do as many and all of them as I can. So thank you guys so much for your support, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!